Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. As you can see, we are back Monday, maximizing it. A new guest this week as Kierra joins us. Thank you so much for jumping into the hot seat and to talk about your career, what's motivating you, all that good stuff. Appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule to join us here this week.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what is motivating me this week? So the first thing is this coming weekend is going to be the first of many fantasy football drafts that I'm a part of. So that season is like finally starting. The trash talk threads with my friends have already begun, even though we haven't even like really started preseason. But it's that time of year, so it's exciting for me. So that's one of the main things drawing to me. The second thing, exciting, but also kind of like scary and sad at the same time. So my daughter is moving into the pre-K room at daycare this week. I don't know when that happened, that she got that old, but she's been steadily like talking back and getting the toddler attitude. So I guess I should have seen it coming, but it's exciting just to kind of see her move to that next stage in daycare and continue to learn things, and continue to learn how to read and write and all that good stuff. So it's exciting but sad same time. So as all parents know, I'm sure. And then the final thing that's motivating me, as you can see, you're probably seeing I'm a little clearer this week. So I finally like made the investment to get an actual working webcam to come in HD. So apologies for all the other weeks where I was kind of slacking and coming in a little grainy, a little fuzzy, but trying to kind of, as I continue to grow this show and do things, make it look more presentable. So here I am, more presentable. So what are the goals for this week? It's all work related this week, nothing on the professional front that I have goal wise. So the first thing for me, I have a lot of positions on the sales side of things. So I'm just looking to grow that network and just kind of get connected to people within the sales industry as we have those positions popping open, just so that we can kind of have that ability to put people into position quickly, just because sales, as most recruiters know, that's kind of a very specialty in terms of recruiting. So I want to kind of grow my network of sales connections. So if you're watching this, if you're in a career in sales, looking for a career in sales, feel free to send me that message, the connection request. And the other thing is we have a lot of different job boards that we utilize, and I want to take this week to just kind of go into those and see if I can do some updating, some cleaning up, making sure everything is up to date and current in terms of the jobs that we're working on and the job descriptions, if there's been any changes, or if we're open to more remote-based positions, just making sure I'm taking the time to go through all of that. And my win from last week, it was the first full week back from vacation. So getting into the groove, I was able to close out one position and get another offer out. So that was kind of the big thing, and to close out the week that way. It's always nice on a Friday to send that offer letter out. So that was a big win for me last week. So that's what's going on in my world. Kierra, what's going on in your world this week? How are things?
Yeah, so what's motivating me? I really want to get back into a morning workout routine. Since switching careers, it's a lot more flexible than it was when I was in education. So I used to work out before work, and now that I have that flexibility, I've kind of switched it up, and I kind of want to get back into that routine because I just feel better when I have my workout done in the mornings and don't have to worry about it. And then the next thing would be, we have this thing with Higher Well, it's called Mindfulness Bingo. So I'm trying to close that out. I've got a couple more slots I need to fill. One is that I need to drink 64 ounces of water every day for a week. And the other one is eat vegetables every day for a week. So that is what I'm going to focus on next week.
Nice.
So I can get those closed out. And then just being really productive, because I will be going to Nashville next weekend for my birthday, and I just want to get everything done during the week so I can just have a weekend of relaxation and fun. So those would be the three things that are motivating me. As far as what I would like to accomplish, I'm learning tech right now. So there's a lot of new things to learn, a lot of new tools to understand. So I think just broadening that more, and then building my candidate relationships. I've got a few that are doing interviews next week. So just checking in on them and helping them prep for that. And then as far as my win, I was able to hop on a call with a transitioning teacher, and she just kind of asked me for some advice on what worked for me and what I did to land my role. And she reached back out to me and said that she had 4 interviews after our talk. So that was pretty rewarding to hear.
Yeah, that's a win for both of you. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. I hear you on the workout front. I remember when I was teaching, the 5:15 a.m. alarm to get up to work out before work was just 90% of the time. I was like, no, can't do it.
Yeah. Well, now I'm like, I could just do it at lunch or whenever,
Right,
because I work
yeah.
from home.
A
But
whole lot easier when you're working remotely, for sure. Yeah, that's usually my lunch break now instead of like the early alarm. So one of the reasons I reached out to you and you agreed to join the show was just kind of talking about your transition from education into recruiting, where you are now. You know, that we kind of hinted at that before we started the recording. That seems to be a very popular industry for a lot of teachers to want to get into. So when you made that transition, was that something you knew going in, like, I want to focus on recruiting? Was it something that just kind of you fell into when you were looking up, you know, positions that you could transition into? How did that journey go for you?
yeah, so recruiting is kind of one of those positions that you do fall into. I followed a lot of pages like teacher Facebook groups and whatnot throughout my teaching experience. And one teacher in particular had left her school year, and she went into recruiting, and it got me thinking. And I was like, is this something like I would be interested in doing? And I was like, it definitely is. You get to help people every day. A lot of the skills are so transferable, the organization, the management piece, just like being able to diversify the needs of each person that you work with. So kind of right after seeing that, I dove right into researching, and then building a LinkedIn is a whole new thing in itself. So pretty much right away at the beginning of the school year last year, I was like, I need to start building this now because I know I'm not going to come back next year. So I started following recruiters and just kind of broadening those connections and networking. So I knew for a while that I was going to go into it. I just knew that I needed to start taking the steps early on in order to prepare me for it.
Okay. So now that you've made that transition, what would you say is kind of the main trait or characteristic that you've taken from education, or like, this has made recruiting so much easier because of my background in education?
Yeah, I think that a hard day in recruiting is nothing in comparison to a hard day teaching.
Mhm.
I remember when I was interviewing for the role, they're like, it's a really hard role to like deal with every day. And I was like, I think I can handle it. Like, I've seen the craziest things teaching. So I would say a stressful day in recruiting is not even a comparison to a stressful day teaching. Um, so yeah, it was not a bad transition at all.
Perfect, perfect. So then for the other teachers looking to transition still, whether they're trying to do that in you know, preparing for next summer, or if they've already made that decision and are still on the hunt right now, what's a piece of advice that you would either give them, or one that you received that you felt was very beneficial that you would pass along to anyone that's still trying to make that move?
Yeah, I think my biggest piece of advice is to network. I actually didn't get any of my interviews without doing that. I didn't even actually bother applying to jobs because I think I applied to maybe like 4 or 5 and got rejection letters right away without even talking to anybody.
Mhm.
Because unfortunately they see teacher on my resume and don't think I have experience.
Right.
Although a lot of the skills are very transferable, like I mentioned earlier.
90%. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say network and reach out to people at specific companies that you're interested in working at. I would never waste my time applying to hundreds of positions, especially because I wouldn't want to work for a company that I'm not excited about. I don't think you'll be happier at a company unless you are excited to work there and have done your research. So focusing on a couple companies and reaching out to people that work there, internal recruiters, hiring managers.
Perfect. Yep, that's usually the advice I go to as well. It's more the environment that you want to join as opposed to the actual position itself. So if not company, then industry specific, but certainly make sure that you're focusing on that more than just blindly applying when you see remote recruiter positions open, because there's a lot of them and there's a lot of applicants. So just
Right.
trying to narrow it down is best. So Kierra, I thank you so much for being on the show here with us this week. I really appreciate your insight and making that transition. Congratulations on that. Happy upcoming birthday in the next couple of days here. If you have not connected with Kierra already, make sure you are doing that just so you can follow along with as she continues to grow as a recruiter and finds you maybe that dream job. So that's it from us this week. Have a great rest of your week. We'll talk to you next Monday.